Presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg stopped in Oklahoma City. Hi, I'm Dave Morris from the Oklahoman, alongside my colleague Carmen Foreman. She covers everything politics. And on a Saturday evening here at the Oklahoma History Center, we saw a campaign speech.
Yeah, it was definitely a campaign speech. It was short and sweet in comparison to speeches from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, who've also been here, I wouldn't quite say recently, but in recent months. Mike Bloomberg was in and out in 20 minutes. I'd say he pitched a vision for why he thinks he's the best person to beat Donald Trump this year.
So let me be clear. I am running to defeat Donald Trump. Because let's face it, Donald Trump is the world's biggest schoolyard bully, with no respect for civility or decency or facts or honesty. And our party needs a candidate that can go toe-to-toe with him and take the fight to him. Just think about the past few weeks. The president has been busy insulting Democratic candidates. He does that a lot. When you can't defend your record on health care or wages or the environment, you resort to insults. Well, Donald Trump's insults don't bother me. I've never run away from a fight. And I can just tell you he's not going to bully me, and I won't let him bully you either.
The former mayor of New York City, he stopped by the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum alongside former Governor Brad Henry earlier today. And Carmen, alongside Mike Bloomberg, was Judge Judy.
Yeah, Judge Judy, who is an actual New York judge, or used to be, has endorsed Mike Bloomberg, and she talked a little bit about how she doesn't really normally get involved with politics, but Mike Bloomberg really just seemed to be the guy for the moment.
Thank you so much for everything.
What about high five? What about all the way? My sister wants your signature.
The however is the only person on the Democratic stage that's equipped to run this country in 2020 from day one is Mike Bloomberg. Don't give me, like my husband says, the stinky eye. Joe Biden's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. But if we want to heal a fractured America, which is what we want to do, let's be honest with each other. There's a lot of revenge here going on in this country. And 4 more years of the incumbent, we're going to have 4 more years of the same turmoil. Do we all agree on that? Because we've gotten into this pattern as Americans of revenge. You will have 4 years of revenge with Joe Biden, as nice of a guy as he is.
But one thing I thought was interesting that, when you notice when Bernie Sanders came or when Elizabeth Warren came, they had local people introduce them before they came on stage. Elizabeth Warren had her brother who lived here, or I'm sorry, maybe it was her cousin who lives here. And then down in Norman, Bernie Sanders had the mayor of Norman, Bree Clark, introduce him. So this was a little different change of pace.
Are we ready for a new president? Are we ready for Mike Bloomberg? Well, I'm happy to be with you tonight. My name is Greg Fisher. I'm the mayor of the great city of Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm one of Mike Bloomberg's national co-chairs. So thank you all so much for coming out tonight.
Well, Carmen was tweeting throughout tonight's speech, and we'll get her opinion on the details of kind of what she heard, the nuances here in just a second. But we spoke with an official here at the Oklahoma History Center. He ballparked the crowd a little over 1,000, maybe 1,200 people. And as you walked in, you couldn't help but notice there was a lot of people here.
There were a lot of people. So the Oklahoma History Center has multiple stories, and people were looking over on the second story to look down on the stage. And Mike Bloomberg even said when he came on, he said, "I've never had people that high up before at a rally." So it was something.
And of course, the historic Winnie Mae hanging right up there in the foyer in the Oklahoma State Capitol in the background. As you might imagine, the Oklahoma History Center very captivating looking place. All right, Carmen, what are some of the things you heard from the candidate tonight?
Yeah, Bloomberg pretty much said that the reason he is the person for this job is because he sees himself as a polar opposite of Donald Trump. He also really talked about his experience in politics, his gun control efforts that created, Moms Demand Action, that really was an effort that he characterized as one to rival the NRA. He's talked about his work on climate change and basically said, if he were to be elected president this year, that he would just continue those efforts in the country's highest office.
Now, let me be clear. My fellow Democrats in this race are all good people. If one of them wins the nomination, God forbid, I will support her or him. But this election, seriously, is just too important for our party to have the same kinds of divisions that we saw back in 2016. We just cannot do that again. But I think I offer a different choice and a different type of leadership. I didn't spend my whole career in politics, and I just don't go around making speeches. I build teams, I nurture good ideas, and I hold myself accountable for results. Like I said, I'm the un-Trump.
As you mentioned, former Mayor Bloomberg spoke for about 20 minutes here before the crowd. Towards the end, as he's walking off, shaking hands, the old shaking hands, kissing babies part of the politics, he was confronted by a member of the crowd holding up a clip, I assume, of bullets there. You mentioned Bloomberg's anti-gun stance, and this guy confronted him there for a little bit of disruption there towards the end.
Yeah, and you had a better view than I did. I was stuck in the back. But I thought that was really interesting because also in his speech, Bloomberg talked about really focusing on the states that Trump won in 2016. And as we know, Oklahoma is a state that Trump won and, has long been a conservative state. And so conservative state that, likes its guns for the most part.
It'll be interesting to watch. You can follow Carmen Foreman, her coverage in the Oklahoman, online at oklahoman.com. And of course, you can follow her on Twitter. Carmen Foreman is the Twitter handle there. Voters here in Oklahoma go to the polls March 3rd, I believe, for Super Tuesday. Oklahoma among those states, and that is why candidate Bloomberg was here. Carmen, thanks for your time.
Thank you.